That said, I'm planning on building some new raised beds this year. Is it okay to fill them with soil and compost now while it's cold, or will the nutrients wash away before I plant in April?
You definitely want to look more into a potting soil than a garden soil.
Watering wicking garden bed?
Oh, yeah.
So, for anybody who hasn't...
I haven't tried it yet. We're totally off Ben's subject, but whatever. We'll get back to you, Ben.
The Helpful Gardeners, the podcast that digs into the buzziest plant trends and news you need to know, regardless of your growing zone. Colin is a skilled horticulturist with decades of growing experience across Canada. Brandi is the greenest of green thumbs with a love of asking questions. Welcome to our garden nook.
There has been a video that has been living rent-free in my brain for the past week.
Okay.
And I wonder if you've seen it. So obviously the Olympics are
oh yeah,
they're gone. They're ending. And this video has been playing rent-free in my brain.
Hell yeah.
They said the moment when a dog escaped during the Olympics and they kept switching the angles like it was a real event. It's this dog just barreling down the ski hill. And
don't they show one of the actual competitors just loving it? I love everything about this.
I just love it. Look at it go.
Yeah. Oh, look at that guy. I mean, if that was the Olympics, 100% I would tune in.
The song choice, they chose Queen.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So this dog going down the ski hill, and it's just it's been living rent free in my brain because it's just so wholesome. Yeah. Love it. So I had to share that.
The one I didn't see it there. The one I've seen, same video, and it shows one of the skiers, I guess, at the top of the hill. So you're thinking, if you're an Olympian and you're ready to compete and this dog is doing that, you're going to be they're going to mess up the track. You got some valid concerns.
Sure.
This guy is loving it. Best smile on his, and exactly what you said. It's just so wholesome.
It is.
It's like a beautiful moment where not everybody's competition must win. Everybody's doggo.
Yeah, and that video wasn't even from this Olympics.
No.
I feel and it's showed up a bunch of times on my social feed. I think just because it's every Olympics, it has to come back out again because it was just gold.
And rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Another thing on my internet was a question because it's Wednesday.
Wednesday questions.
And listener Ben put in a question that said, I'm planning on building some new raised beds this year. Is it okay to fill them with soil and compost now while it's cold, or will the nutrients wash away before I plant in April?
Huh.
I've never thought about this before. I'm usually last minute Brandi. So I'm very curious what happens when you pre-plan ahead.
It's a totally valid question.
Yeah, a great way to avoid garden burnout. Get it all kind of done now.
Well, I mean, maybe not now because it's been quite cold.
But yeah, that's right. It's been minus 30.
But what a solid plan when we had that Chinook.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
So the short answer is yes, absolutely fill it. Amending the beds in the fall. I know a lot of people do it. I like to do mine in the spring so it is fresh because there will be some leaching with snow melt and spring rains and
soil
that kind of
compact
stuff. Exactly. You have to turn your bed anyway in the spring. So put the new stuff in. I understand some people want to do it in the fall. It's minimal. It really is minimal, the amount that you're going to lose. But in a raised planter, you're not going to lose anything.
Yeah.
Because, I'm thinking, you know how some people... They do a couple of edges, but it's still on the ground.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about different kinds of raised planters. That's a good point. Yeah.
Because for me, a raised planter is something like the height of this table with a planter built on it.
Yeah.
Like a veggie pod.
Yeah. Okay. So it has legs. It stands above ground.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That to me is a raised planter.
Yeah.
Somebody who does an edge with, railroad ties or bricks or whatever and does soil, I don't consider that a raised planter.
No.
It's just
what would you call it?
An elevated bed.
An elevated planter. So raised planter?
Yeah, no, because all you've done is you've elevated the grade of the soil.
Yeah.
So it's no different than having a hill where a raised planter is raised up off the ground.
Yeah.
So that to me is the difference. So when I picture raised planter, it has a sealed bottom. It's not sitting on the ground.
Okay. So good distinction here. So if we're talking about raised above the ground, then doing it this time of year is totally fine. Just make sure that you are fluffing it up again.
Just put it in, mix it properly, do all of that.
Should you cover it?
I would.
Okay.
I would cover it, but it's not really going to make much of a difference. The only thing I would say to be careful of which is totally unrelated to Ben's question. But it's something that I've done. So when we were landscaping, we did try and find some projects during the winter that we could do. One of the hardest things you can possibly do in the winter, not amending soil, not doing anything like that, is when you're installing something, making sure it's actually level. The ground has frozen. You've got frost heaves. You've got patches of ice and snow. So you put something down and you're like, I think that's good. And you level it and you come out in the spring and it's a tilt.
Good point.
Yeah. So I'd be careful on that.
Yeah.
But again, if you're doing like more of an elevated planter, you're coming up, but it's still on the ground, then you really don't have to worry because you're kind of building onto the ground.
Okay. That's good to note. I also, if we can kind of go into raised garden beds a little bit, if you're amending your soil, but say you're also wanting to build it more efficiently. I saw this thing on Pinterest this past week about a self-watering wicking garden bed.
Oh, yeah.
So for anybody who hasn't seen this yet, essentially you line your raised planter with like liner, like pond liner. And then you put a PVC pipe in the middle or in the middle of at the bottom, and you put gravel around it. And then you put your soil on top of that. And then you have this little like funnel that sticks out that collects the rain, kind of like the root around system, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then the water will go in and then fill up the reservoir at the bottom of the planter. And then it will wick upward into the soil.
Have you ever seen the wicking mats for indoors? So kind of related, but not.
No.
So the wicking mat, the part of, oh my God, I can never remember what they're called now. The grow light gardens.
Okay.
And you've got the trays, and the trays are elevated, and I don't know, whatever, the container, the wall is about yay high.
Right.
Okay. The idea being, and then the carpet, it's a wicking mat, drapes into the water. You fill up the base, it wicks the water up. The plants are sitting on it.
Yeah.
And it waters from underneath. So,
okay. So that might be an option too.
So kind of a similar thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, anything that can help us save, conserve, and reuse water.
Yeah, because I find that raised planters, it's very hard with the watering aspect.
They dry out so quick.
Exactly. Yeah. Especially like if you're using them with wood. Like, I don't know if it's different if, say, I've seen these almost like tin.
Okay. Yeah.
That kind of thing. I feel like in Canada, like that would be really cold, but different materials, but the wood is the most popular. And that everybody I talk to always has a problem with keeping that thing moist. So I feel like if you're going to go in with the soil anyway, maybe try looking at different ways to make gardening efficient this year. I really like the idea of the self-watering thing because I'm lazy. So this would help me out a little bit.
And roots will actively seek water.
Yeah.
So if the water is down there, Veggiepod did not a wicking system, but they did a reservoir system.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
And we've got other planters downstairs that have reservoir or wicking systems.
Yeah.
Like this method works. The one I've always wanted to try, I haven't tried it yet. We're totally off Ben's subject, but whatever. We'll get back to you, Ben. We haven't forgotten you, but hang tight. Have you seen the ones that people are showing? And again, the reason I want to test it is I kind of take a dim view on what people show online these days because everything seems to kind of be like, oh, look what I can do. And whether or not it's true doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But people take rope, like garden twine or whatever.
Yeah.
And they put it in water and they run the line. And it's for like when you go on vacation and they put it into a plant. And as the soil dries out, it's pulling the moisture down the rope. And it's a wicking system from, water in a bucket or a bottle or something.
That's cool.
And I've seen people doing and the physics, the idea works.
Yeah. But
whether or not it's transferring enough water through to keep your plant healthy, because again, people are showing this. So I worry that somebody's got, a 8-foot ficus, palm tree, monstera, whatever, and they put one string in it. And they're like, cool. I saw this on Instagram.
Oh, no. So it's not like it would work for every application.
I don't know. That's why I want to play with it. I got to find the time.
Yeah.
I got to find the time to do it. But the logic is sound.
Yeah, maybe you try that and I'll try the self-watering and then we report back.
Mine's way easier. I'm in.
Yeah. But I mean, I was planning to do this anyway.
Yeah.
So that's good. Can we also talk about the kinds of things that you want to amend in your raised planters for Ben? Like, obviously you mentioned compost, but does it matter if you're doing flowers versus veggies versus?
No, what does matter is your drainage.
Okay, good point.
If you're doing a fully raised planter, you definitely want to look more into a potting soil than a garden soil.
Okay.
Because there's no natural drainage.
Okay.
So topsoil, garden soil, heavy composts like sea soil, okay, all stuff that we love, but I would not put that in my pots.
Okay.
Because it holds too much moisture. You're running the risk for getting into root rot.
Yes.
So there absolutely are ratios. I've played with them. They're all different. So I'm not going to get into it on the measurements. You absolutely can add those composts, significantly reduce what you're adding.
Got it. Okay.
So if you have an area the size of this table, since it's a very convenient visual, in this area in my garden, I might add half a bag of sea salt to that. Okay. If that was in my raised planter, I might add quarter or even a fifth.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Because again, I'm not worried now about the nutrients washing away. I'm not trying to combat clay and rock. The soil that's in my raised planter should be beautiful soil, a potting soil or a bulk, a screened loam.
Yeah.
It should be amazing. So technically I need less amendments to make that healthier.
Yeah.
And if I put in too much, it gets waterlogged.
Okay. Good point.
Yeah.
I also was wondering about fertilizer. So you know how some people like to put in a slow release fertilizer at the beginning of the season?
Yep.
Would that be something you want to add in as well? Or would you maybe do that closer to when you're planting?
Yeah, I would not fertilize.
Okay.
So fertilizer is activated. Good question. Because I was like, fertilizer, my brain, of course, goes to water soluble.
Yes, because that's your fave.
Yeah, but it totally valid. Fertilizer all it needs is warmth and moisture.
Oh.
So if you do get like the Chinook we just had, that was warm enough. And if the snow is melting and the soil is moist enough, it will already start breaking down.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to say it's going to be totally gone. It wasn't that ridiculously warm. The days were shorter. But absolutely, there would have been some activation with the heat hitting a black soil. So it's going to be nice and warm. That fertilizer sitting there and then the snow melting, adding moisture.
Yeah.
You can start getting it to break down. Fertilize. Plant, then fertilize, or if you want to mix it in, fertilize when you're doing your amendments and then plant immediately after.
Okay, good. Ooh, a couple options for you, Ben. Let us know what you're going to end up doing. Do you think Veggie Pod is going to be at the Home and Garden Show?
They absolutely are.
They are.
I already talked to Blake.
I always thought the Home and Garden Show was such a cool opportunity to find ideas like this. Yep. You know, you go in there and you see all these local experts, like local garden centers, local landscapers, tree people, like all of that, all in one place. It's really convenient. So I'm glad that Veggie Pod's going to be there.
Yep.
Tune in on to our episode on Friday because I'm going to go down there and I'm actually going to give you a sneak peek of all the cool things that you can see at a place like the Home and Garden Show.
Please, for me, for you, for everybody, you got to get Blake on camera.
Do you think he'd go for it?
I think you'd have a hard job keeping him away from it.
That's fun though. Okay. Challenge accepted. Ben, thank you so much for your question. If you have a question for Colin, the Helpful Gardeners, head over to our Instagram at the Helpful Gardeners Pod. You can send us a DM, or our favorite way is if you go to our website, goldenacre.ca/podcast, you can send us a voicemail and then we'll feature you on the show and you can ask all kinds of questions, right? Anything. If you have a plant that's been bothering you, if you saw a bird in your backyard and you want us to identify it, we can try.
Or if you just want some validation and be like, am I cool? We'll be like, you listen to us, you're cool. That's what the cool kids are doing.
This podcast is brought to you by Golden Acre Home and Garden. Find seasonal inspiration for your home and garden in Calgary, Alberta year-round. Visit goldenacre.ca. The comments and opinions expressed by the Helpful Gardeners on this show are our own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Golden Acre Home and Garden. For more information on everything we covered today and to leave us a voice note, visit goldenacre.ca/podcast. The Helpful Gardeners are on Instagram at The Helpful Gardeners Pod. Keep on growing, gardeners!